Good evening, Thursday. The fixtures have officially been released, and at Paxton Road TV, we decided we have to do a fixture announcement special. So here goes, and I've got with me Sam, Spurs for life, and we're going to talk about the fixtures. Sam, how you
Good
feeling?
evening. Oh, yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day. Fixtures are out. Means the season is almost upon us. But obviously, we've got all the pre-season tours and all the rest of it. And obviously, for us as well, got signings to make. So, yeah, it's all good so far. All good.
Exactly. So far, so good. Question for you. Was you, like me, this morning at 8:59 on your phone, giving it all this straight away?
I knew I had to just wait till 9 o'clock. And
Yeah.
as soon as 9 o'clock turned, it was all over the place. It was Twitter, it was WhatsApp, it was everywhere. So just had to just wait because I knew someone would send it out and it was multiple. So yeah, it's looking well. We'll get into it anyway when we talk about the games
Absolutely.
and what we think from the start.
Yeah, totally agree with you. I think it's the highlight from everyone today, weren't it? I think everyone on Twitter, social media, everywhere, all the people have been talking about is fixtures, fixtures, fixtures. People have already worked out the derbies, the Manchester derbies, the North London, the London derbies, the key fixtures. And a lot of Tottenham fans have worked out who we're playing straight after Wednesday and Tuesday night football of the Champions League. So, yeah. So let's get straight into the fixtures. And right, so first game of the season, Southampton at home. And the best thing about Southampton at home is it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, which for the first time, I think since 2019 or is it 2017, we've got a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday for the first game of the season. So it's going to be a very interesting one.
That's going to be good. Yeah, you always want a home game for your first game if you can. Last season, obviously, our first game at home was against Manchester City, which we won, didn't we? So, yeah, we do well at home on the first game of the season. Let's hope that continues. As I said, you want to try and get a home game. A team like Southampton who have been in the Premier League already. It's not like you're playing one of the newer teams who've got something to try and prove in the first few matches. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, all teams will be up for it for this first game because it's the sun's out, hopefully, and we should be more up for it than them. It's home game, first game of the season. The crowd, 60,000 people there. Let's hope it's a big one.
You know what? Not only what you just said, Sam. Not only the crowd. It's going to be the fact that we're going to have potentially 4 or 5 brand new signings. It's a new dawn. It's a new era, right? With Conte, the players that he wanted, and I think that atmosphere on that first game of the season, it's going to be electric because it's the new Conte era and the new signings. And you know, I for one, I am so looking forward to the first game of the season and being at home, 3 o'clock kickoff. It's going to be banging, man. It's going to be absolutely banging. More obviously, more to come, more players to come. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show. So our August fixtures, we've got Southampton at home, Chelsea away, Wolverhampton Wanderers at home, Nottingham Forest away, and West Ham United away. So, first 5 games, well, I'm just going to ask you straight. What do you think, first 5 games?
You look at the first 5 games and you look at the fact that you've got Chelsea and obviously West Ham in there. That's 2 London derbies. But then you kind of balance that. You've got a newly promoted team in Nottingham Forest. As I said, we've got some established teams as in Southampton and Wolves. It's much of a madness. Last season, we were looking, we got bloody Manchester City first game. Look what we went and did then with I would say, an inferior team and an inferior manager. We should be really hopeful. We should be looking forward to this first game. As I said, because it's the home game, because it's going to be new players on show. Conte's had his pre-season. They would have gone on tour, come back. This team should be quite gelling, I would imagine. And it should be competition for places. It's going to be a long season, condensed season, but it's going to be a lot of games. So everybody's going to get an opportunity to play that Conte wants to play. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm excited.
You know what? Southampton home, Chelsea away. To get Chelsea the second game of the season at their place, I think it's going to be good for us because it's you know, new signings all blending in, and Conte's will probably all have his tactics and everything ready. And to go to Stamford Bridge, because they've not bought anyone yet, and probably looks like Lukaku's going out. It's going to be an interesting one. So looking at that first month, I'm quite happy with what we've got. I mean, like you said, we've got Chelsea away, West Ham United away. So we've got, in between the London derbies, we've got 2 Midland games. So we're not even travelling that far. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be interesting. I mean, West Ham away.
The thing is, as we probably, like last season, you want to try and maybe, I don't know, sometimes it is probably better to have the bigger teams early on because maybe they haven't quite settled into any sort of rhythm. Maybe they haven't got all their players. Again, there's a lot of games that have to be played, and not everybody's quite ready because of all the internationals and the friendlies and all the rest of the travelling they've got to do. So maybe Chelsea, the second game of the season, is a really good one for us because we know our record against Chelsea in the league in general is absolutely terrible. Yeah. But they're not so much in a disarray. I wouldn't use that phrase quite, but yes, they've got new owners. They've got players that want to leave. They've obviously lost a number of players during the summer. I think it's Rudiger's definitely gone. Yeah. Christensen, I think, is off as well. They're probably going to lose Aspilicueta, like we were talking about, Lukaku as well. That's a lot of established players there that are not going to be there, which would normally give us bloody nightmares. So I'm hopeful that this team that we should be assembling to go and play Chelsea on the 13th should be really good. But let's win the first game. That's what we've got to do. We've got to look at one game at a time.
One game at a time. And like I said, one game at a time. Before we continue, everyone who's watching, please like and subscribe and press that like button. Follow us as well. We've got plenty of streams coming up over the summer period. Not as many, obviously, as we've been doing whilst the season's been going on, but we're going to still keep you entertained. We're going to at least guarantee 2-3 a week, Sam.
Yeah, of course. We're going to ramp up. As the team's going to do, we're going to slowly increase, ramp up, and by the mid-season, we're flying.
That's it. So we go from 5 games in August to 3 games in September, and it's another London derby. We go to Manchester City, and then we've got Leicester City at home. So, what do you think of the September fixtures?
Again, we might be subject to a few changes in there. You never know. Kickoff times might change. Yeah. I'm not sure how early. I think it's October when we start with the Champions League. So we could probably look at October as the next month. But
no,
I'm not sure if there's.
I think it's September.
Oh, is it? So there's good because I don't know how the season's going to go in terms of these cup games, because obviously some of these cup games are going to be early in terms of the League Cup. But again, it's wherever they fall in. But if you've only got 3 league games on paper, 2 at home, 1 away being Manchester City, in theory, this is only theory. We've got Manchester City's number. They've got probably one of the worst records against any team against us in the Premier League in recent memory. And Guardiola hasn't done too well against us, hasn't done too well against Conte. So again, you're looking at that 2 home games, 1 against a newly promoted team, 1 against Leicester, who might be losing a number of players. In they've got Tielemans who might be off. There's a few players who we don't know what's going to happen. So again, if we establish that we've got our first team and we've got all these players who are willing to fight for the badge and all the rest of it, I think those fixtures are okay. I'm not too fussed.
Yeah, and then going into October, we've got Arsenal, then Brighton, Everton, Manchester United, Newcastle United, and Bournemouth. So 1st of October is the North London derby. So that would be our second. That would be our 4th derby in 9 games. So, and you know how our derbies this season, I think didn't we have the worst record or second to worst record in derbies?
But we didn't do too bad in obviously the last couple of games. But like I said, early part of the season wasn't great. I think we've got to accept that because of the number of London teams in the league, we're gonna have this. We're gonna probably be 6 London teams now. We've got Fulham, West Ham, ourselves, Chelsea, Arsenal. So there's a few teams that we're gonna have to play. Fulham again, newly promoted. Yeah, we're at home. We should be beating them. We should be beating them.
This is it. And we've got the 2 newly promoted sides within the first 6-7 games of the season. Well, 5-6 games of the season. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, we've got the 3 promoted sides within the space of 2 months. You obviously Nottingham Forest, you got Fulham, and then you got Bournemouth. So within a month we've had all 3 of them teams out of the way.
Yeah. And I think Ishak as well, good evening, Ishak, he's saying, I think it's good that we're playing Chelsea earlier because of their situation, right, with their whole back line gone. Like, exactly what you said, isn't it? It's probably the best time to play them because they're going to be in transition, aren't they? So,
definitely.
You know what I mean? Mox was saying you're looking like the Big E from WWE.
That's the second time. That's the second time I've had that.
Mark is taking time out,
The
obviously,
BE.
because of football season's finished. He's just taking a week off and then he's off to do the WWE. So, yeah.
Big E, that's funny.
That's a good one. Right. So, October fixtures. Easy or?
Oh, man. This is, I think we can all see just the numbers alone. The number, if we have to play 6 games in a month, that's a lot of football to play. And if you look at the games we've got 4 of them being away from home, 2 home games. The 2 home games being one against Newcastle, which ain't going to be an easy game, and Everton, might be newly revived Everton, but North London derby, I think that speaks for itself. You know, away to Arsenal, they're going to be absolutely chomping at the bit to play
100%.
us because obviously what we did to them in the end of the season and how we've taken the Champions League space, which has now caused them more turmoil than it's causing us. So that's going to be a toughie. Brighton, again, if we get that signing done as we think we're going to get, that's the weaken them. So again, a certain player could be going back to an old stomping ground, something to prove. And again, we've seen that Brighton have a good brand of football, but I think we should be at least be able to match that away from home. Everton, Man United. What Man United are we going to get? What Everton are we going to get? Don't know. I really don't know. What do you think about the Man United situation with Ten Hag? Is it going to be just the new manager bounce, or is it going to be, you know, these new players that they were talking about? I don't know with Man United at the moment.
I think we're all stuck with that, isn't it? And now these new Pogba revelations are coming out as well in his Pogumentary that he's doing. So they're a club in turmoil at the moment. And
100%, I agree with that.
You know, like you said, what Man United are we going to get? And looking at the play, I mean, players don't want to. Well, I don't know if players don't want to go there or what. I don't know, but I think for me, excuse me, October, Man United away on the 19th and Newcastle at home on the 22nd. I think they're probably going to be a tough game to go from Old Trafford and then play Newcastle because obviously
that 19th to the 22nd. So what's that? Let's have a look at that. That means, so one of them games is a Saturday, and then we play the other one on the Wednesday.
Man United's I think midweek.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday. Yeah, it's a Wednesday, Saturday. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But that's 6 games, man.
6 games in
games.
Yes,
in the month.
Yeah,
you know, and they're not like it's not like we've got the majority of home games. We've only got 2 home games in that. We're away. We're traveling away, man. It's gonna be tough.
It is tough. So the first 3 months we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home games and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 away games. So potentially, you know what? We've got to win our home games. Simple as we win our home games, and then we can pick up the points. I mean, looking at this, we should pick up. All right, Chelsea, yeah, but I think we can pick up at Chelsea. We can pick up at Forest, West Ham, even Man City. You know what I mean? So,
if I look at them first 5 games and I look and I think what should we definitely, and again, we can only do this by, you know, paper and our own thoughts because we don't. Football is a funny old game, but I look at that and I think, yeah, Southampton game, first game, should be winning that. I look at that Chelsea game and I think that's a great opportunity for us to prove, for Conte to prove, and the players that we are now ready to step up another level. 100%. So I want us to go to Stamford Bridge, them a little bit out of kilter. No backline has been mentioned already. New owners trying to find their way. Let's see if we can go there and get 3 points. And then I look at the next game. If you've got a bit of momentum going, then you go to Wolves and you think, right, we should be able to go there. Yeah. But in reality, football don't work like that. So I would say if we get between 9-10 points out of them first 5 games, that's a good start. 12 points would be ideal, would be great. So 4 wins and a loss, but we'll see.
And that's it. And considering how crap our August was last season under Nuno, it can't get any worse than that. And if we start off on fire and we pick up even 12 points and think that's going to be, you know what, that's going to set us. And I think a lot of Spurs fans will be expecting to see how we do the Chelsea game. I think a lot of people are going to look at it as a benchmark. And if we can pick up 3 points, then you know what, it's going to be some, I don't want to get overexcited, but it's going to be very, very interesting season. Right. So moving on to November, we've got Liverpool. then Leeds United. So we've only got 2 games in November, right?
Okay.
2 games in November.
But surely they're going to throw some of the cup games in at that point.
I'm assuming, and maybe Champions League as well, I think will be in there. But it's 2 home games, and they're both Liverpool and Leeds. So that, you know what? They're both winnable at home, because look at what we did to Liverpool.
Yeah.
We absolutely battered them.
I'm looking at Liverpool now. Are they going to have the Salah Mane, Jota, Diaz? Is that going to be a combination? Obviously, they're signing Darwin Núñez, so that's going to be a big signing for them. But they might be destabilized with the loss of Mane. So again, it's going to be maybe finding their feet. They're obviously a quality team. Don't get me wrong. They ain't going to need a lot to get back on track in terms of where they were last season. But when you lose someone like Mane, if he is going to go, Salah's not definitely signed up. It's a bit of a what's going to happen? What are these players like? Again, we've got the World Cup to think about. Players might not be quite at the races because they all want to play a little bit under the radar because of the World Cup. I don't know how it's going to go because of that. That's where the 5 subs is going to come into really importance. So the deeper squad that we have, I think we could go, as I said, Liverpool coming to us. I think we could match them on the pitches we've shown, and hopefully, you never know, get that result. We deserve it.
100%. Leeds should be 3 points, but you know what? It is what it is. It's Tottenham Hotspurs, isn't it? But you know what? Let's see what happens. Then is the World Cup, and the Prem have decided that they're going to go away with the they're going to do the Boxing Day, but they're not going to do the one straight after Boxing Day, and then it's going to be New Year's Eve, the next game. But the only problem we've got with this 26th of December game is apparently it doesn't leave that much time for certain players if they get to the World Cup final, because I think, if I'm right, it's about 4 or 5 days, maybe less than a week's break, and they come back straight into a Boxing Day game after Christmas, which is going to be a weird one because you're going to have a break from the World Cup, then you're going to come back, then it's going to be Christmas. It's absolute lunacy.
I don't know how this is going to work because I'm not sure. Obviously, on the continent they have winter breaks. I'm not sure if there's going to be able to employ winter breaks because of the nature of the World Cup being smack bang in the middle of the season. So I don't know if the other teams in Germany and blah 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 are going to have winter breaks. Just looking at that, it seems like we only got 4 games between them. But as you said, a World Cup, a lot of players. We've got a lot of internationals. We're just going to have to manage it. It's going to have to be a real. This is what I'm saying. The squad's going to be so important this season. So important. And
this is where, like, the Forster signing, for example, a Premier League experienced goalkeeper, 34-year-old. That's where he's going to come in handy, because you imagine putting Galini in or somebody like that. And say, for example, we've done really well up until the 12th of November, right? We're first or second in the league, whatever. And then you've got to put Galini in on Boxing Day and New Year's Eve. Whereas now you've got Forster, a ready-made Premier League experienced keeper. That for me, number one, I can say, do you know what? That's good. I can trust him because he's played there. He knows the game. He knows the Premier League. I can trust him. So them 2 games over the Christmas period, I think they're going to be as important as the 2 before the World Cup.
And I think as well as that, you've got all those cup games, which I think Forster will play in those cup games. So, we're going to have to manage Hugo's minutes anyway. Then we've got to think of, players that might not be going to the World Cup. So the likelihood is that Eric Dyer is not going to go to the World Cup. I don't know. I don't think he will because, the way that, after the results of England, as you never know, it might change now. But it wasn't looking likely. So for us, that's benefiting us. A player like that who's going to be a number one, certainly one of the first names on the team sheet, unless we go out and do some real big business in the centre-back area. We're going to have to really look at who's not going. Those games that are going to get planned. Some of these games are going to get changed. Some of the, all these fixtures are not going to be laid out like this. CL going to come into it. FA Cup going to come up. It's a madness. I think it's just going to be, just take, as you said, last season, you did it. You started it one game at a time.
Absolutely. And that's going to be the same this season as well, and the foreseeable future as well. Right. Going into January, it's the London Derby month. So we've got Palace away, Arsenal at home, and Fulham away. Now, Arsenal's going to be done and dusted by 14th of January. So, you know what? Put them to bed. get the 6 points off them and
Tuck them in.
forget about them for the rest of the season. But you know what? Looking at November to 5th of November to the 25th of December, we've got City, Leicester, West Ham, Chelsea. So from the 2nd of January to the 25th of February, that is a hard list of fixtures. And we've got the Carabao Cup in there, FA Cup's going to be in there, and the Champions League is going to be in there. So that is tough.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking though is, again, when we look at the season, we always see this all laid out at the start, and we all know fixtures get postponed, certainly get moved around because of cup games. Other teams that will progress further in the cups than others means that, certain games are going to get changed. So I don't know if necessarily we'll play all those games in that sequence, but as a run of games, it don't look nice. You got Crystal Palace, you got Arsenal, you again got another London derby against Fulham. You then go straight into Manchester City. Leicester away is not going to be an easy game. No. West Ham, then Chelsea again. Come on, that's in anybody's language. That's tough. That's tough.
But Sam, City at home, West Ham at home, Chelsea at home. I'll take that all day long. If them 3 fixtures came up and they said to me, "Do you want them all at home?" I'd take that all day long, because at home, with our fans behind us, I think we can beat all 3 of them at home.
I would say we've got better chance now. We've got Conte in it. But if you think about it, if we go off the back of last season, remember them 3 London derbies that we just got pasted in a row? Yes. It was Crystal Palace, Chelsea, and then Arsenal. We just got roasted. That can't happen again. So I would imagine that, you might think about which game is going to be. Those 3, you're right in what you're saying. Being at home, it should put us in a good stead. But we all know what West Ham, it's their cup final. They really always want to come to our game and play out their skins. Chelsea, they've got a hoodoo over us. They know they want to go and do that. So, we're going to have to match every team this season. Nobody's there's no easy games. There's no easy games.
That's right. So that's January, February out of the way. And you know what? It looks like we're getting all the big clubs already, like home and away, done by February, March. So it's an interesting one. Then going into March, we've got Wolves, Forest, Wolves away, Forest at home, and Southampton away. And then we go into 6th game of April. And again, we've got Newcastle, Man United, and Liverpool within a week. So I think it's a Sunday, Wednesday, probably Sunday, or Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. At the moment, it's Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, but it could be anything. It could be Friday, it could be Monday, it could be whatever. I don't know. I know what's going to happen. The Premier League are going to stitch us up and make us play on Champions League Wednesday, and then give us Newcastle on a Friday, and then Man United on a Monday or something stupid like that. But April's a tough run of fixtures as well.
Yeah, I look at that again. I look at that, and I think from previous experience, seeing how these fixtures pan out, that will change. We won't have that run of fixtures in there because of the different competitions that might be happening. And you would imagine that Liverpool, again, should probably be in all competitions, or certainly within shouting distance of the league, maybe even shouting distance of the Champions League as well. Manchester United, who knows? We keep saying this about Man United. Who bloody knows what's going to happen? They could be top of the league. They might be bottom of the league. I have no clue. Newcastle, I am concerned about, because I think if the way that they're going in terms of how they approached the end of last season and quietly just getting some players in, quietly just building, they look like a team that are going to be like how Aston Villa was. I think, there's a team that's going to think, oh, I don't want to play them. We should beat them, but you never know. And Crystal Palace is another one like that. Everton, depends on what they do in the summertime. Are they going to get their recruitment right? But those 6 games, and then you look at, then you go into the May fixtures. You got Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Brentford. Last game being Leeds.
See, what I was going to say to you, right, Sam, is if you was given at the beginning of the season, if somebody said to you before the fixtures came out, what would you like as your last 4 games of the season? Yeah. That for me is perfect. Yeah. Because that is doable. Yeah. We haven't got any of the big clubs. You know what I mean? That is totally doable. Again, people will say, yeah, but it's Tottenham. You never know. But them 4 games, because that could potentially, after the Man United Liverpool game, we probably could know where we are in the league in terms of positioning or whatever. Having a run of 4 games where you've got Crystal Palace at home, Aston Villa away, Brentford at home, and then Leeds away, I'd be more than happy with that. I'd be like, you know what? Thank you very much. I'll take that all day long.
I agree. And I think if you look at the where those teams finished last season, none of them were top 8 teams, certainly not top 6. They were teams that, you look at Crystal Palace, good manager, good young set of players, but come that part of the season, do you know what I mean? Are they going to be challenging for anything? Not quite so sure. Aston Villa, if they get it right, they could be challenging for a top 8 sort of place. So they might be going for Europa like they were this season. But again, you would want to play that type of team. Brentford only just, been back in the Premier the last couple of years. Leeds struggled last season. It's going to be a massive turnaround for them to be a challenging team in terms of a top 8 team. So I would say, as I did last year, you want to be in the last 3 games, you want to be playing teams that are on the beach. You either want to be playing like we had Norwich, who were relegated, or teams that have just said, "Oh, done. We don't need to do anything."
Yeah, exactly. And I think like Jack, good evening, Jack. Like Jack's saying here as well. Also, having a home away at the end of the season is nice. Totally agree with you, because the last thing you don't want is 3 away games and 1 home game or something like that. This is like home away. Just go and do your job, And for me, looking at that screen at the moment, right? Apart from Man United and Liverpool, I'm not worried, because look at that set of fixtures.
But if you think about it, I'm only worried about Liverpool, Man United, unless they change them players. I don't care what Ten Hag does. He ain't going to get them players playing like our Conte's got our players playing. I can't see that.
Sam, let me just stop you there. They were the worst. They had one of the worst performances.
What are you going to say?
They beat us twice. They done us twice, home and away. And we, in streams, and I think a lot of Tottenham fans did say, they ain't going to roll us over. And they rolled us over both games. So, Man United, like you said, they're going to be like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get with them. But I agree with you. Liverpool, out of all them games, is probably the most, the hardest one, in my opinion.
100%. Anfield.
Yeah, exactly. But United, I wouldn't worry. I'd be a little bit worried about them. But
I look at the away games. You look at notoriously Everton, Goodison Park.
Yeah.
On paper, always a hard fixture for most teams that go there. Newcastle, St. James's Park, always a tough fixture for anybody to go there. And you just got to look at Anfield. Our Anfield record is abysmal. So you just look at them 3 away fixtures in themselves and you think that's tough. But you throw Man United in there, what are you going to get in Man United? Brighton are a good footballing team. Bournemouth, again, newly promoted. I would imagine the home games should take care of themselves. And I include Man United in them home games to take care of themselves. And if you pick up maybe a win, maybe a draw in one of those 3 away games, I think that's good going.
Absolutely. And Liverpool away under Conte, you know what? I'm happy going to Anfield under Conte, because, like you said, Conte's gonna have a plan. And as much as they didn't like it this year, did they? Because they're all mourning and that we didn't play with Klopp, whatever. Klopp knows what he's gonna get, and he's looking at that fixture and he's probably thinking, if we're going for the title again, we don't want to be playing Tottenham. We do not want to be playing Tottenham.
Personally, this season, as I said, and I'm going to say it quietly, but I think we've got a really good opportunity to win the league. And I'm going to say it. I'll say it on my chest, to win the league, because of all the different factors that we're taking into consideration, because of some of the changes in the team, because of the World Cup, 5 subs, blah, blah, blah. And if Conte plans stuff, and we've seen the improvements that we had with certain players, and the players that we've already got in, the Perisic, Basuma, hopefully now, Forster, we're not done yet, man. And as I said, it's good. It's good thoughts.
Absolutely. Right, let's have a look at a few of the comments in the comment section. So, Mark Swift, totally agree with you, mate. Hit that like and subscribe button and share. Big up to everyone. Kevin Murray is saying, good evening, Kevin. Arsenal game very early. Good. Put them to bed. Put them where they belong. Send them back to Woolwich straight away. Let's have a look. What else? Kevin Murray is saying here, use that Chelsea game as a benchmark to see where we are.
Exactly.
Yeah. NS Sports TV. Hi. And then big up Sid and Sam, 2 of my favorite non-CFC content creators. Thank you very much.
He's a Chelsea fan, but we don't mind Junior playing. We don't mind NS Sports.
Absolutely. Kevin Murray again, he's saying our international players are going to be exhausted before Christmas. Do you know what? I think it's not just our international players. I think a lot of the international players that are going to be going into the World Cup, depending on how far they get, will be exhausted. Absolutely. And the Premier League ain't going to give the players as much rest time as what you said, Sam. France, Germany, Spain. Them players will probably get more rest time than we're going to get.
The only way that teams are going to be able to do this, they're going to have to look and see and make some real good plans. And this is what I'm saying. Teams are going to have to play weakened teams. When I mean weakened, players that have gone to the World Cup and played deep into the World Cup cannot be expected to come back and just play the next week. That ain't going to happen. And if you run that risk, you run that risk. I don't think we should do that if we've got a deep enough squad, and it looks like we're going to have at least 2 players in each position. Let's see how many of them internationals are going to be away.
This is it. Jack's saying Lampard's going to get sacked. Jack's also saying here, what you said, like home away, last game of the season. And also Aston Villa, Crystal Palace and Brentford will be on the beach. So will be Leeds as well, mate, last 4 games. And I think he also agrees with you on that one, Sam. I'm only worried about Liverpool too. And I think he's referring to Man United here. We lost to them.
We certainly lost that second game on purpose. El Sacchio.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. But so looking at the fixtures overall, Sam.
Yeah.
Are you pleased with?
So again, what I do is I look at the first 3. Are they reasonable fixtures? And we start off with a home game. So again, I'm happy with that. Look at the last 3 fixtures. Do we end the season at home? Yes, we do. That's looking good as well. So you kind of look at them little fillets and you think, yeah, that's a good. As I said, because the fixtures are going to change some way through the season, we know we're going to have Champions League thrown in. We're going to have FA Cup. We're going to have League Cup. We're going to have so many other games that's going to just be changing. TV, who knows? One game at a time. I am now on that boat, Sid. I'm on it. Completely.
You know what? I should hashtag that and copyright that one, shouldn't I? One game at a time, because you know what I mean. We started off Ask Sid, and everyone's now doing Ask Sid. Talk Sport are doing it. Sky Sports are doing it. Everyone's doing it. Talking points, everything. So everyone's nicking our Judge Jody. Everyone's nicking our content, mate. So we must be doing something right. You know what I mean?
Doing something. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good, man.
But so yeah, that is about it really about the fixtures. We just wanted to do a quick one just to just go through the fixtures and what we thought about we've given our opinions. I think a few people on the comment section have it as well. And like you said, Sam, now it's just about fixtures are out. Let's get these transfers sorted. Bissouma's done and dusted, but we're just waiting for that hold the t-shirt. And hopefully, in fact, tomorrow evening, Sid says he's going to be doing the transfer special, and Bissouma deal is going to be announced. So I'll be doing one on Sid says tomorrow.
Let's just talk it anyway. Let's talk about it anyway, because he's done, man. It's done. Unless something drastic happens.
Yeah.
You know, the players done the medical. We've seen like all of the Fabrizio Morano reports, and we've seen all the they're all kind of saying the same things now.
Done.
They're all saying the same things, and that's when that's done. Bookies have stopped taking bets and all the rest of that sort of stuff. It's done. It's done.
So join us tomorrow evening for Sid Says, and we'll be talking about Bissouma, going through his stats, and also discussing a few more other players, potential players coming into the club. Sam, what else have we got lined up that you want to tell our viewers?
So we've got Talking Points. It's taking a little bit of a break, but Talking Points will be back on, I think it's the 4th of July. It will be now on a regular time, hopefully, of 8 o'clock on a Monday. Bearing in mind, we might have to change it depending, but looking like it's going to be Mondays on a regular. Judge Jody will be now on the Sundays because we're Champions League Arsenal. That means we play most of our games on the Saturday. So you know what I mean. And then Darius 3K is going to be back with the roundup show at some point when we just do all the gossip and see what's going on. But we've got so much to talk about that we thought we had to do this show, obviously with yours tomorrow, Sid. Yeah, there's plenty of things that we can get into.
Kevin Murray's got a question. When's the Champions League draw? I don't know yet. It'll be soon. And listen, when it happens, Paxton Road will be all over it, and we will probably do a show on the Champions League draw as well. Jack Kinnick is missing Talking Points.
It'll be back 3 weeks' time.
Yes. And Jack, come on, talking points. Come on.
Jack's been on plenty of times. He's going to be back on
Come
regular.
and join us again. I'm sure this season everyone's going to be wanting to come on because of the Champions League as well. So it's going to be coming at you, as Cleopatra said. We'll be coming at you every day, all day. So yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. The fixtures are out. We now sit back and enjoy. Like I said, please smash that like button, follow us, subscribe to us, and we've got hoodies, we've got t-shirts. Sam, tell them all about it. Go on.
Dear me. Like I said, you've got to look out for both of us on Twitter. Paxton Road on Twitter, Sid Spurs on Twitter, Sam Spurs for Life on Twitter, Spursy141, Darius for all of us have got some form of merchandise on. So yeah, t-shirts are coming. It's summertime, as we've had a beautiful day today. It's supposed to be 30 something tomorrow. So you want your t-shirts, but they're coming soon. And then hoodies all summer as well. It gets a little bit cold in the night, so put your hoodies on.
It does. Listen, I've been wearing mine as well, my t-shirts and my hoodies out and about. So hopefully, and these new t-shirts they're looking pucker, mate. But hopefully,
let's keep that under wraps, man.
Coming too. But guys, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we shall see you. Well, tomorrow evening. Come and join us tomorrow evening. We'll have lots to talk about. Bissouma, a brand new signing, and I'm sure Sam's got lots to talk about. I think all you lot will have loads to talk about. Tell me what you think about Bissouma. I know I've been reading everything, and people are just woohoo. Just words cannot express itself.
I'm gonna give a plug out. A shout out to Brazil Scout. If you go and look at Brazil Scout and put these Bissouma ones, they're good anyway in terms of the profiles that they show for players and the highlights they put together. But I'm telling you, people are talking about him. I know we're going to probably get into tomorrow, talking about just being a defensive midfielder because of the tackling stats. Watch the highlights. This guy is the difference maker. I am telling you, I am so gassed. It's unbelievable. If we get this right.
Cool. There you go. You don't need any more than that. On that note, I shall see you tomorrow. Please tune in tomorrow. I'll probably be at 8 o'clock. Let's talk Tottenham Hotspur. Let's talk transfers.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. And I just need to end it now. I've lost the outro. Here we go. Good evening and have a good night.
See you later.